Okay, so well, thank you very much for coming. So today we're going to hear the talk of Pilar Zamora-Tavares. So she's a postdoctoral researcher at the Universidad Autónoma de Querétaro, and she's also a professor at the Universidad de Guadalajara. um, so she will be talking us about her work. She has been working a lot in the Physaloid group, especially in Physalis, and also in phylogenetics and biogeography. But today she's going to talk us about the potential of wild Physalis as a source of food diversification. So thank you very much, Pilar. And if you want, you can share your screen. Sorry.
Voy.
Todavía te estamos viendo, no vemos.
Quiero. Voy. A ver. Oh, espera.
Sí. Perfecto, ya vemos tu pantalla.
Pero, ¿sí ven mi presentación? Ah.
No, ahora sí, pero vemos las dos pantallas ahora.
Eso me temía. Ok, no hay problema.
Ahora sí, perfecto.
Sí. Okay, hi everyone. I'm going to tell you about some research that has been conducted in Western Mexico about the potential of some wild species as a source for food diversification. These works were carried out by graduate students led by Ophelia. They evaluate agromorphological characters to check if some wild species are cultivable. That is, check if they have the desirable characteristics to serve as a food alternative. Oh. I begin to reminding you that Physalis is an American genus of around 80 species, of which 65 are found in Mexico, and 35 of them are endemic. Most of the species are concentrated in the mountainous areas, particularly in the Trans-Mexican volcanic belt in this area that crosses the country longitudinally. And the greatest diversity extends to Western Mexico, in Jalisco, where Ophelia and I live. Of these 65 species, 16 have a record of use. Physalis has great morphological variation and can live in very contrasting conditions. They can be perennial and annual herbs, and its typical corolla shape is rotate, with 5 spots in the center. However, we can also find atypical corolla forms, like in Physalis Solanaceae and Physalis campanula. Even the Physalis crassifolia variedad fundibularis have a rare corolla shape. They can also inhabit from coastal dunes, such Physalis minuta, up to 3,000 meters above sea level, associated with avies forests like Physalis costomat. Something to highlight is that the most of the Physalis species will be found in open areas in the forest or in disturbed places, growing like weeds or also next to crops, as long as the people have not applied herbicides. In Mexico, Physalis has a high economic and cultural importance, mainly for the use of their fruits as food. There is a record of whose tomato seeds, along with remains of corn kernels, dating back to 1500 years BC. In addition to the use of the fruits as food, the roots, stems, and leaves of some species are used as remedies, and another nice use that is given to some species is the use of calyces to make ornaments and crafts. As you can see in this picture, is a beverage of Physalis philadelphica with lemon or lime. There are two species that are used outside of Mexico, Physalis peruviana or golden berry, that is cultivated in several countries, mainly in South America and South America, and which is very tasty, as you know. Another species is Physalis grisea, or groundcherry, that also has a sweet flavor and is cultivated or used more intensively in North America. A few weeks ago, Joyce presented some results regarding taste preference and the boost that is being given to the cultivation of both golden berry and groundcherry. The species with the most intensive use in Mexico is the tomatillo, also called green tomato or ghost tomato, Physalis philadelphica. With the fruit, many dishes are prepared and it can serve as a condiment too. In this case, the preference is for the acid flavor. Last year, its cultivation in Mexico ranked the 15th place in terms of agronomic production, with almost 750,000 hectares planted and harvested. The tomatillo also presents great interspecific variation. This variation can be seen in the flowers and fruit sizes, as you can see in the pictures. This variation has been exploited by humans. 8 races and about 40 varieties are now recognized. The size and color of the fruit are the traits in which human selection has been focused. We find small fruits of 1 centimeter in diameter, like this, with green-purple coloration that is generally associated with the polyculture system that in Mexico we call milpa. Therefore, this type of tomatillo is called milpero. There are also medium-sized fruits, 3 to 4 centimeters in diameter, and in the other extreme, we can find fruits up to 10 centimeters in diameter. The funniest part is to register the local or regional varieties, where we find tomatillos with such contrasting shapes as the one in the photo that has the black frame. The shape and color of the fruit resembling an habanero pepper. If it didn't have the aggressive calyces, we probably would have mistaken it. The yellow fruits in Physalis philadelphica tend to have a sweeter flavor, like this, like in this variety. Based on field work, in the producing area in Western Mexico, Jose Sanchez and Ofelia record the cultivation of Physalis angulata. What makes this species attractive is the size and taste of the fruit, because it can replace the milpero race, which is in general more appreciated. The price of normal size Physalis philadelphica is about 50 cents, while the milpero can cost $2. Also, depending on the season, it can reach $4. So they explored and started an ethnobotanical work. It made possible to record that the use of Physalis angulata is quite recent, just 30 years ago. In principle, we hypothesize that the origin of the germ plants was probably local, because Physalis angulata is found naturally in the tropical and oak forests that are around the producing area. However, according to the informants, some producers obtain their seeds from another state at the south of Jalisco, from a town that is in the border with Jalisco. In this work, the details of management, cultivation, and sale of Physalis angulata in that producing area were also documented. An interesting detail is that they can harvest several times and finally let the plant dry to collect the fruits, as you can see in this picture. Recently, Mainda told us in her seminar that she found that Physalis angulata is also cultivated in Tamaulipas. It's an state in the north, yeah, at the border with the United States, so far from Jalisco. Considering that the use of Physalis angulata is becoming more intensive, Judith evaluate the agromorphological potential of wild and weed population of this species in order to determine which population carried the desirable characters for cultivation. She evaluated the cultural tradition of harvesting, the preference for small acid-flavored fruits, the high price and high yield make Physalis angulata a species with the potential to be cultivated extensively. She evaluated 10 wild and weed population along with one cultivated population collected in the surroundings of the producing area and measured 13 agronomic descriptors, such as germination percentage, number of fruits per plant, average weight of fruits, among others. Her results shows that Physalis angulata have a wide genetic basis. That this is inferred from the variation in size and color fruit, germination percentage, and median time of germination. The population with desirable traits, such as small to medium plants with compact canopy, numerous fruit per plant, large and heavy and early and high germination, were proposed as useful material for breeding programs in this species. The fruits of at least another 14 species have records of local use or by ethnic groups. Their fruits are harvested as an occasional food by a single individual or a family, or they can be harvested intensively and sold in local markets. Some species can substitute the use of Physalis philadelphica by their acid tasting, or others are consumed for their sweet fruits. Some examples of species with sweet taste are virginiana, cineracens, cordata, y angustifisa esta de acá. Perdón por el inglés español. A very nice example is Physalis chenopodifolia, which has sweet fruit. This species bears berries from October to January and grows associated with scrubs and temperate forest in the center of Mexico. As you can see in the image, as many species of Physalis, it prefers to grow in places with a little disturbance. There, on the edge of the road, it is very easy for one to see the fruit and pluck it to eat it. In central Mexico, among the Mazahua people, an ethnic group, the consumption of this fruit is common, and they call it oshcones. The fruits are usually sweet, but with a bitter taste at the end. Taking into account that there are several wild species that are used locally, we wanted to see how these species will work under cultivation conditions. Luis developed this study. He's in the photo holding a Physalis chenopodifolia plant. As you can see, it's a perennial herb with a very robust bearing, and you can see a part of the rhizoma. It's not a total rhizome. In addition, to these perennial species, 2 annual species were also evaluated. There are Physalis acutifolia and Physalis pubescens. These 3 species have sweet taste fruit. What Luis did was establish the cultivation of 3 populations per species. The seeds were collected in the wild and 1 angulata accession as a control. For this evaluation, Luis used 25 descriptors, agronomic descriptors. An important question was to validate the phenology of the species to determine the life cycle, and what he found is that the phenological development of wild species is similar to cultivated Physalis. It can be annual or perennial. As you can see, the harvest was made when the fruits were fully ripe between the 138th day to 168th day. The 3 studied species showed a favorable response to agricultural management. Following transplantations, the plants settled and adapted easily to the experimental blood conditions. Also, we observed that in cultivation conditions, the plants grow vigorously and show greater size with respect to individuals of the same species found in the wild. The attributes that explain this are set germination period, number of fruit per plant, pH, equatorial diameter of the berry, among others. The fruits of wild Physalis species are nutritionally similar to other cultivated Solanaceae and have desirable organoleptic properties for consumption. The production per hectare estimate for this population are 11 to 14 up to 28 tons per hectare, which is similar to that recorded for other wild tomato species and slightly lower than Physalis philadelphica. Due to their agronomic attributes, these populations can be part of core collection for a breeding program. In conclusion, wild Physalis species have cultural importance and has proven their potential as new crops. Here we are, Ophelia and I, for answer your questions.
Thank you very much, Pilar. Very nice talk. And yes, it's kind of very impressive to see all the variety of fruit colors and yes, about all the morphological variation inside Physalis. So, well, we are open to questions now. If you want to turn on your microphone and do questions or using the chat.
Hi, Maria. This is Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
Hi. Very interesting presentation. Really enjoyed it. I had a problem with my computer when you were on the slide with all the different tomatillos, the different colors. And I had a question. Are those all philadelphica? Just
you mean
colors?
this?
Sorry. Earlier in your presentation, we were talking about tomatillo.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that one. I had a problem I didn't hear. So those are all philadelphica?
Yes, all philadelphica.
All philadelphica. And then I missed what you said about the flavors and how they vary with the different colors.
Yes, we have detected that the yellow ones, tomatillos, are more sweet in general. And the people prefers these sauces with the sweet acid flavor in the center of Mexico.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, thank you.
That's impressive. Those I haven't seen before, those red tomatillos. So it's kind of varied.
I'm sorry, this one? Just
yes.
It's Solanum lycopersicum.
Okay. All right.
Just for reference, to the size of Solanum lycopersicum with Physalis philadelphica.
Okay.
This is a fruit very large.
Okay, but the yellow are tomatillo and that other
the
picture.
Yellow one,
Okay.
This one or this one.
Uh-huh.
This one, these others are philadelphica.
Okay,
I'm
great.
sorry for the confusion.
Okay, no problem. I've only seen the purple and the green, so it's kind of interesting to see this other color. So.
Oh, yes. They called it yema de huevo, no sé cómo se dice. ¿Cómo se dice, Rocío? Yema de huevo le llaman a esta raza.
Oh, and like, yes, it's the yellow part of the egg.
Okay. Oh, the yolk.
Yeah, the yolk of the egg. Okay, that's one.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
That's interesting. So there is a question here, Franco. He says that Physalis angulata is what chilaquiles verdes are made of, because there is delicious.
In general, the chilaquiles verdes are made from Physalis philadelphica, but the milpero race, that is this is one. This is the milpero race. It can be. Bueno, lo voy a decir en español, perdón.
Sí, sí.
Ajá. Los chilaquiles verdes están hechos de Physalis philadelphica. Pueden ser de cualquiera de estas razas. Las más sabrosas, de acuerdo a los paladares más, digamos, a los paladares más exquisitos, digamos, dicen que el milpero es más sabroso. Physalis angulata a veces sustituye al milpero. Entonces, tú puedes comer chilaquiles verdes de Filadelfica o de milpero o de angulata y realmente probablemente no sepas cuál especie es con la que hicieron la salsa.
Wow.
Tienen un sabor. They have a very similar taste. The milpero, Physalis philadelphica and Physalis angulata. Very similar taste.
I have a question related to that. This is Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Pilar. Thanks for all these great pictures. This, definitely makes me wish I had a better breakfast. I have a question about the cost. So since you said that they taste kind of similar, why are people willing to pay 4 times more for the milpero if the taste is kind of similar?
La característica que tiene el milpero es que los frutos crecen entre la milpa, no es un cultivo extensivo. Y hace que sea, digamos, como más artesanal la recolecta y por eso es más caro.
Es como que son más exclusivos.
Sí, sí, pues por así decir, más exclusivo, claro, y sí, lo venden muy caro, más caro.
So I will say, like what Pilar is saying, that usually the milpero is more expensive because it's in a smaller scale where it's cultivated, it's more exclusive. So in that way, it's more expensive because it's more like that. So.
The milpero is not a monocultive.
It's not an extensive cultive, so
Gracias.
That's good. Okay, I have a question, but it's more about, because you're talking about Physalis philadelphica, but I wonder, what do you think about the Physalis ixocarpa? If you are assuming like are the same species or it's not, and how about their fruits? These fruits of ixocarpa.
Yes. Oh. We assume for a very long time that Physalis ixocarpa and philadelphica were synonyms. But with the recent phylogenetic work, the Physalis, these two names are separate in the phylogeny. So we have issues about it. So we have, todavía no lo hemos resuelto.
It's still not resolved. But actually,
no sé si,
you mean in the phylogeny with entire plastomes? Because actually in the phylogeny, when we were using like nuclear markers and chloroplast markers only with Sanchez sequencing, they are resolved as sister taxa, so they are not very different actually.
Yes, when in my phylogeny, I recall that these two species were separate, a little more, not sister species.
That would be interesting to see actually, because probably with chloroplast markers, they tell different stories, like the chloroplast nuclear. So that would be interesting to see. Yeah.
No sé si Mainda quizá tenga alguna opinión al respecto de Isocarpa philadelphica. Mainda is the very good taxonomist of the group.
Yeah, he's the expert.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for that. I have a problem with angulata, Ixocarpa, including South American things, because one has a huge stigma and a long pedicel, and the others don't. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a problem.
angulata has a broad morphological variation. Like the angulata from South America is there's some samples from Peru that are actually very different to the rest of angulata. Really interesting to see. Also, how are the fruits, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is another question of Franco. So he said that, do these edible species have that sticky substance on their surface? They show sugars. I remember that Craig gave a talk about that, the fruit's surface.
Yes, they have a sticky substance, and that I think that it provokes the bitter taste at the end when you eat the fruit. So, like, if you can wash it before eating, the sticky substance can be let out, and you can eat it without problems.
Is that happening in all the other species, those 14 that could be used, and they all have those sticky fruits in some way?
Yeah, but no, there is a, like, Physalis cineracens. It has a sticky substance, but another species like Physalis gracilis, I think this is it. It's very, very tasty and don't have that sticky substance. It's a species with which we are working on. Physalis gracilis.
Hi, this is Joyce again. A question. So there's the stickiness, but then there's also, like for Peruviana, there's sort of this oily type of feel. Do you see that in some of these other species as well?
No, I can't recall oil substance.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
No sé si Mainda used to taste all the fruits in the field.
Yes, but many taste horrible, and they do have a sticky substance.
But oily?
Oh,
No, not oily, mostly sticky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I noticed like with the Peruviana, with the some of the goldenberry we have, when I could put them in a bowl and I wash them, there's like this oily feeling all over my hands and left on the bowl, and we could feel it on the fruit as well. And I was wondering if that's something specific. You know, we don't see that as much in the grisea, but I was wondering if that was kind of specific to the Peruviana, or if these other species that you've been working with have the same.
No, oily substance, no.
Okay, thank you.
So Anna is asking also about if it's not dangerous actually to taste them in the field, like taste them now.
If it is dangerous?
Yes, it's dangerous. Do you know any of these fruits with, I don't know, any I know, compound that could be dangerous for the health of the people? Or...
We're still alive and used to taste almost everything. I think there's in Physalis at least the fruits that have been that we are proof in the field are safe.
Okay, that's nice. And have you tried? I know that those Physalis species that are not actually Physalis, like Campechiana or Melanocystis, they have some red fruits, right? Are
Yes.
they tasty or are they edible at all?
I don't have proof this species. Mainda? Mainda, I think this.
No, esas sí no las he probado, ninguna de las dos.
¿No? Las rojas no.
No.
No, we don't know yet.
Yeah, I think they're very endemic to particular areas, right? So it's kind of, it's hard to find anyway those species.
Sí, son difíciles.
Yeah. So I don't know if there are any other questions.
Pilar, you also talked about how some of these plants are used medicinally. I was wondering like how the stems are used. Did you find like there's a lot of variation with that characteristic? Or is that something you looked at?
You mean the other traits that can be used?
Yes.
No, the shape and the leaves and the stem, bueno, las hojas, voy a decirlo en español, perdón, Chelsea. Las hojas son muy variables dentro de las especies, entonces no hemos observado alguna selección hacia ese rasgo y tampoco hacia los tallos. La verdad es que es un consumo bastante ocasional, no es algún rasgo que se esté seleccionando continuamente. Y no hemos observado cambios importantes.
¿Te refieres a cambios?
O sea, digamos, por selección humana, que en las especies que se usan las especies que se usan tallos y hojas como remedio, no hemos percibido que haya como un factor de selección hacia ese rasgo, pues. Y además no se cultivan, la gente lo encuentra así en silvestre y así lo colecta.
Ah, claro.
No sé si respondí la pregunta de Chelsea.
Sí, creo que sí. Voy a decirlo en inglés, pero sí. She's saying that there is no selection about particular traits on stems or leaves to actually select for medicinal use because they are not cultivation for that. Actually, it's more collection in the field that the people do to pick up the species and use their leaves or stems for that. No sé si está bien.
Sí, está bien. Pero no sé si contestamos a Chelsea.
Chelsea?
Yeah, I also have another question about varieties. It doesn't seem like there's like the phylogeny is a little bit messier, but do you find that the varieties will separate out to be like, okay, this came from probably like this last common ancestor, it changed in this ways? I don't know if I'm asking correctly, but is there a better resolved phylogeny for the varieties than the species?
No, generalmente el material que uso para hacer la filogenia trato de que sea material silvestre, ¿no? A veces uso también, cuando no está disponible uso el cultivado, sin embargo, no hay separación en la filogenia, aunque use materiales diferentes.
¿Materiales diferentes te refieres a diferentes variedades?
Sí, variedades diferentes.
Bien.
Sí.
No se separan en
Pero-
la filogenia, están todas forman
No,
un...
no se separan.
Bien.
No se separan las variedades, no. Bueno, esa sería la respuesta rápida, no se separan.
Ujú.
Y ya luego le platico a ella en privado otras cosas que he descubierto.
Qué bueno.
Está para publicarse. ¿Sí?
Ujú.
¿Por favor?
Sí, claro. So Chelsea, yeah, she's saying like she will talk to you in private, but anyway, like it's like the different varieties she included in the phylogeny, and they are clustered all together. They don't separate. So it seems that yes, there are no problems about the circumscription of the species according to the different varieties.
That's good.
Yeah, but I was impressed about that. I think there is crassifolia, one of the varieties that has a very particular corolla. That's impressive. Haven't seen that.
Voy para allá.
And also about the I think it's glutinosa that has campanula, that orange corolla. That's
And
amazing.
tubular.
Yeah, tubular and orange. It's kind of wow.
Is the whole plant. The whole plant is very, 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 very cute.
Mm-hmm.
Linda. Pero it is found only in the cloud forest, so it's a little difficult to establish like in your garden. It's very difficult.
It's very difficult to cultivate. Have you tried to cultivate it?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And it's very hard to have in the greenhouse or sometimes work.
I think it is special for here in Jalisco because it's very, very, very warm.
Mm-hmm.
It is too hot in some seasons, so this species can survive in these conditions. It likes more template environments.
Nice. And so Stacy is asking about how big are those flowers of Physalis campanula?
Oh, like maybe to the 1 or 1.5 inches.
Mm-hmm. They're similar to Solanaceae?
No. Solanaceae is very little. It's
very,
small.
very little. So, yeah.
No, es que yo lo sé en centímetros, no sé cómo decirlo en sus.
No, dilo en centímetros, yo tampoco sé.
Bueno, Solanaceae es medio centímetro. It's half a centimeter. Solanaceae. And campanula can be up to 4 centimeters.
Oh yeah, much bigger.
3 or 4 centimeters.
That's a very beautiful plant, yes. And actually, Joyce is also asking about if the plants are smaller compared to other Physalis, the ones of campanula.
¿De toda la planta?
Yes, toda la planta. ¿Es más pequeña que los otros Physalis?
No. I think that it is the same size like Physalis chenopodifolia that shows in the
wow, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm. Like this one in the photo with Luis.
Yes.
More
it's
or less.
To that size. Wow. Mm-hmm. But they are more in forest, like understory forest?
In cloudy forest. The campanula in cloudy forest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I had one more question. This is Stacy again. About pollination of these things. I know that many crops are self-compatible, but I think that most of these Physalis are self-incompatible. And then I wonder, have you seen what pollinates them? I mean, here in the US, the native Physalis sometimes are pollinated, I guess often, by these little teeny tiny, like minuscule bees, the smallest little bees ever. And then I guess Chelsea says that she also sees, regular honeybees on them. And so I wonder what variety of pollinators are on some of these other cultivated species, and if that might be a limitation for cultivating them. If they have tiny flowers and need tiny bees, maybe they will be harder to cultivate outside of their native area.
Yes, the pollinators that I have seen in the field and in these cultivation areas are regular honeybees. I can see, no he visto, I haven't seen another pollinators. Maybe flies, but no more.
So none of those little tiny bees.
No, and at least in the and in my experience, I didn't have seen these little bees. No.
Okay.
Nice. So, I don't know, any other questions for Pilar? So if not, maybe you can stop sharing the screen. So with Chelsea and Andres, it would be nice if we can activate the video so they can see us. Thank you very much. It was a really, really nice talk.
¿Sigo grabando, Rocío?
Yeah, you can continue. Sí, puedes continuar grabando.
De acuerdo.
Or, no, probably, yeah, if you want to stop the recording, yeah, that's good. Okay, so we want to